Welcome back to Courtroom Conversations on the Classic Courtroom YouTube channel. I'm Dylan Brooks Hamilton, and I'm here with Susan Kelly Ashford to dive into a legal battle that's, well, you could say it's sending shockwaves through the music industry.
Yeah, it's great to be here, Dylan. And you're right. This case, it really does have all the elements of a real-life courtroom drama. You know, feuding artists, accusations of defamation, and of course, a whole lot of money at stake.
Absolutely. We're talking about Drake, one of the biggest names in music, suing his own record label, Universal Music Group, or UMG, as most people probably know them. And at the heart of it all is a diss track by another hip-hop heavyweight, Kendrick Lamar. So if you're ready for some juicy legal analysis, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to Classic Courtroom for more deep dives into the most captivating legal battles out there. Now, before we jump into the lawsuit itself, can you give us a little background on this supposed rivalry between Drake and Kendrick Lamar? Some of our listeners might not be fully up to speed on the history there.
Sure. Well, it's actually kind of interesting because, over a decade ago, they were actually collaborators. But things took a turn around 2013 when, according to the media at least, some subtle disses started appearing in their music. So, that simmering tension seems to have finally boiled over with this lawsuit.
Okay, so let's get to the heart of the matter. What exactly is Drake accusing UMG of doing wrong?
He's claiming defamation, and it all comes down to Kendrick Lamar's song Not Like Us. Now, remember, this track is actually nominated for 5 Grammys this year, but Drake alleges that the song contains some very serious and very specific accusations against him.
Okay, so what kind of accusations are we talking about?
Well, Drake's lawsuit specifically points to lines in the song that he claims are outright false and accuse him of some pretty disturbing things, including pedophilia and even inciting violence against him. He says these lyrics have led to real-world consequences and put him and his family in danger.
So it's more than just hurt feelings. He's claiming actual harm as a direct result of this song.
Exactly. And to prove defamation, he'll have to show the court that those statements are not only false, but that they were published with malicious intent and that they've caused him real damage. And that damage, it isn't just emotional distress. It also includes things like the alleged shooting of his security guard, attempted break-ins at his home, relentless online hate, and even having to relocate his family for safety reasons.
Wow. If that's all true, this is way more than just a typical celebrity feud.
Yeah.
So what is Drake hoping to gain with this lawsuit? Is he just looking for a public apology from Kendrick Lamar and UMG?
Well, a public apology might be part of it, but Drake is going for the jugular here. He's seeking substantial financial damages, and he's demanding a public trial. Now, this demand for a public trial is especially interesting. He clearly wants all of this aired out in court, which, let's face it, could create a huge public relations nightmare for UMG and potentially tarnish Kendrick Lamar's reputation, even if he ultimately wins the case.
So there are potentially huge financial and reputational risks for both UMG and Kendrick Lamar. What's their response been to all of this?
Well, they are fighting back, and UMG in particular has issued a strong statement denying all of Drake's allegations. They're essentially saying they've always supported Drake's career and implying that he's being hypocritical by trying to suppress another artist's creative expression. They also make a point of highlighting their significant investment in his career, which I suspect is their way of saying they've earned a lot of money from him and they aren't going to back down easily.
Yeah, that's a pretty bold stance to take, especially given the severity of the allegations. Are they really suggesting that record labels have no responsibility for the potentially harmful content their artists put out?
Well, that's where things get really interesting. UMG seems to be arguing that rap battles are a common and accepted part of hip-hop culture. They're pointing to Drake's own lyrics, which, let's be honest, are often full of boastful claims and disses directed at other artists. They're basically saying, look, Drake, you dish it out all the time. You can't cry foul when someone fires back.
So they're trying to play the he started it card.
That's one way to put it. They're essentially saying that Drake is a willing participant in a culture where these kinds of lyrical exchanges are the norm. And they're arguing that the courts shouldn't take these diss tracks literally.
But if Drake's claims are true, that his security guard was shot and his family forced to relocate, isn't that taking it beyond the realm of artistic expression and into the realm of real-world danger? Where do you draw the line between creative license and potential harm?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And it's something the court will have to grapple with. Drake's lawyers are arguing that UMG prioritized profits over artists' safety. Knowing full well the potential consequences of promoting this song, it really raises the question of how far a record label's duty of care extends, especially when dealing with artists engaged in very public and potentially volatile feuds.
This is also fascinating and complex. We're going to have to take a deeper dive into the specific lyrics of Not Like Us and UMG's legal strategy in the next part of our deep dive. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to Classic Courtroom for more captivating legal analysis. We'll be back soon to untangle the rest of this legal battle. Welcome back to Courtroom Conversations on Classic Courtroom. We're in the middle of unpacking this explosive lawsuit between Drake and Universal Music Group, a case that's really pushing the boundaries of artistic expression and legal liability in the music world. Before the break, we talked about Drake's claims of defamation and UMG's attempt to portray him as a hypocrite, given his history of diss tracks. Now, we're really curious to get into the specifics of the song itself. What exactly is it about Not Like Us that has Drake so fired up?
Well, we obviously can't dissect every lyric here, but the lawsuit zeroes in on certain lines that Drake's lawyers argue cross the line from creative expression into outright defamation. Some of these lyrics are pretty graphic and directly accuse Drake of engaging in inappropriate behavior with minors. There are also lines that, according to Drake's team, encourage listeners to take action against him, implying that vigilante justice is warranted.
And just to remind our viewers, this song, Not Like Us, isn't some obscure underground track. It's actually nominated for 5 Grammys this year, including Song of the Year. That just adds another layer of complexity to this whole situation.
It really does. You have a song that's being celebrated by the music industry, considered a masterpiece by many critics, simultaneously being accused of containing potentially defamatory and harmful content. It's a fascinating collision of artistic acclaim and legal scrutiny.
Well, Susan, this has been an incredibly insightful conversation. I know I've learned a lot, and I'm sure our viewers have too. It's a reminder that the law isn't just about dusty old textbooks and courtroom procedures. It's about real people, real conflicts, and the constant struggle to find a balance between competing interests. And who knows, maybe this case will even inspire some future lawyers or legal scholars out there. Thanks for joining me on this legal journey, Susan.
It's been my pleasure, Dylan. Always happy to unpack a fascinating legal case.
And to all our viewers out there, thank you for tuning into Courtroom Conversations on the Classic Courtroom YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the Drake versus UMG lawsuit, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more captivating legal analysis. We'll be back soon with another intriguing case that's sure to spark debate and get you thinking about the law in a whole new way. Until next time, stay curious and keep those legal minds sharp.